Welcome to Unfolded Enigmas, where we dive deep into the world's most perplexing mysteries. Tonight, we revisit the mysterious disappearance of Flying Tiger Line Flight 739, one of aviation's great unsolved cases. A military flight carrying 93 U.S. soldiers vanished over the vast Pacific Ocean in 1962. No distress calls, no confirmed wreckage, just a chilling void where answers should be. Join us as we piece together the fragments of this forgotten enigma and explore why, after all these years, this case still haunts the skies. It's March 16th, 1962, and the runway at Guam's Andersen Air Force Base is alive with the hum of a Lockheed Il-1049 super constellation preparing for takeoff. On board Flying Tiger Line, Flight 739, 93 U.S. soldiers settle into their seats, their uniforms crisp, their faces betraying a mix of anticipation and trepidation. Alongside them, 11 crew members move with practiced precision, checking seatbelts and stowing luggage. This wasn't just another mission. For many of the soldiers, this flight marked their final stop before Vietnam, a journey that would alter their lives forever. As the plane's engines roar to life, the aircraft begins its ascent, leaving the island behind and heading toward the Philippines. Inside the cabin, the soldiers try to distract themselves. Some glance at photos tucked into the pockets of their fatigues, smiling at the faces of loved ones. Others share nervous laughs, cracking jokes to keep their minds off the unknown that lies ahead. A few close their eyes, trying to get a bit of rest before touching down. The mood is heavy, yet calm. The Lockheed Il-1049, a reliable workhorse known for its long-haul capabilities, cuts through the clear Pacific skies. The flight crew, seasoned and confident, maintain a steady course, communicating with air traffic control, as they've done countless times before. There's no hint of trouble, no mechanical issues, no weather concerns, nothing to suggest the historic enigma that would soon unfold. But the vastness of the Pacific has always held its secrets, and as Flight 739 climbs higher and further into that boundless blue, no one on board knows that they are stepping into one of aviation's most haunting mysteries. This journey, meant to be routine, would soon become a story whispered among pilots, debated by historians, and forever etched into the annals of unsolved aviation tragedies. The stage is set, the pieces are in motion, and the world is about to witness the inexplicable disappearance of an entire flight, leaving behind only questions, theories, and the faintest hope of answers. The flight began as a routine journey, with no immediate indication of what lay ahead. For the crew, it was just another mission. For the soldiers on board, it was one more step toward their uncertain futures. The aircraft soared steadily into the skies over the Pacific, its powerful engines humming as it climbed toward its cruising altitude. Everything seemed perfectly normal. But as the hours passed, the picture began to shift. Somewhere over the vast expanse of water, a moment arrived that no one on the ground could have anticipated. No distress calls were made. No mayday signals were sent. No frantic radio chatter emerged. Then suddenly, silence. The radar screen that had displayed a steady blip now showed nothing at all. The plane, its passengers, its crew, all had vanished without a trace. The sudden disappearance left air traffic controllers scrambling. Calls to the cockpit went unanswered. No evidence of mechanical failure. No weather disturbances. Nothing seemed to explain what had happened. One moment, the flight was there. The next, it was gone. It was as if the aircraft had simply dissolved into the endless blue expanse below. Search and rescue operations were launched immediately. Ships and aircraft scoured the ocean, hoping to find debris, a life raft, or any sign of the missing flight. But the Pacific is as merciless as it is vast. Days stretched into weeks, and the vast search area yielded only fragments of hope that quickly faded into frustration. The mystery deepened with every passing hour. How could a plane vanish so completely? Why was there no warning? What could have caused such a sudden, silent disappearance? As search teams struggled against time and the elements, one chilling thought lingered. What really happened in those final, fateful moments over the Pacific? In the wake of Flight 739's disappearance, a massive search effort was launched, one of the most extensive of its time. Ships and aircraft from multiple nations scoured over 200,000 square miles of the Pacific, combing the vast, unrelenting ocean for any sign of the missing plane. Search crews faced grueling conditions, turbulent seas, unpredictable weather, and an overwhelming sense of urgency as they raced against time to find survivors. Reports of wreckage began to trickle in, but each sighting turned into a frustrating dead end. Pieces of debris were examined, only to reveal no clear connection to the lost aircraft. Rumors and unconfirmed leads sparked hope among search teams, but the hope was short-lived as they failed to uncover the crucial evidence needed to explain the mystery. Back on land, the families of those on board endured an agonizing wait. They huddled around radios, clung to phone calls from military representatives, and scanned newspapers for any updates. Their emotions swung wildly, from the faint hope that their loved ones might be found alive to the crushing despair that came with each fruitless report. As days turned into weeks, it became harder to maintain optimism. The Pacific, with its vast depths and endless horizons, seemed intent on keeping its secrets. Without a debris field or a black box to analyze, investigators were left with a haunting void. The questions began to pile up. Could the plane have been brought down by mechanical failure? Was it sabotage? Or did something entirely unexpected happen in the skies that day? As the search efforts began to wind down, the mystery only deepened. Flight 739 had seemingly vanished into thin air, leaving behind grieving families, frustrated search crews, and a mystery that endures to this day. With no wreckage to study and no survivors to tell their tale, speculation quickly filled the void. Theories surfaced like fragments of a shattered puzzle, each offering a tantalizing glimpse into what might have gone wrong, but never quite fitting together into a complete picture. Some believed it was a catastrophic mechanical failure, perhaps a critical engine malfunction or a structural issue that caused the plane to break apart in midair. But without debris to examine, the evidence remained purely circumstantial. Others pointed to the possibility of sabotage. With the flight carrying a large number of U.S. military personnel bound for a conflict zone, it wasn't hard to imagine that someone might have wanted to disrupt the mission. Perhaps a bomb had been planted on board, or an external attacker had struck the plane as it crossed the Pacific. But again, without any confirmed wreckage or a black box to reveal what happened, these ideas remained just that, hypotheses without proof. Then there were whispers of a mid-air explosion, a sudden, violent event that could explain why no distress calls were made and why the plane seemed to vanish so completely. Could an undetected flaw in the aircraft's fuel system have triggered an inferno at cruising altitude? Or might an unseen force, a missile perhaps, have struck without warning? The possibilities seemed endless, but no investigation could confirm any one scenario. Over the years, the lack of concrete evidence has done little to quell the public's imagination. Instead, it has only fueled more questions. Why was there no trace of the plane? How could an aircraft of that size, carrying so many people, simply disappear without a single verified piece of evidence? Even as new aviation technologies emerged, allowing investigators to solve other decades-old mysteries, Flight 739 remained stubbornly elusive. Theories, however captivating, remain unproven. And just as the ocean's depths conceal the truth, the mystery of what really happened to Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 continues to haunt the annals of aviation history, inviting new generations to speculate and search for answers. Flight 739 stands as one of aviation's most chilling enigmas. The stark reality is this: 93 soldiers, 11 crew members, and their Lockheed L-1049 Super Constellation vanished into the vast Pacific Ocean, leaving behind nothing but grief, speculation, and a trail of unanswered questions. For the families, the lack of closure has been a lingering wound. Every missed birthday, every holiday gathering with an empty seat, every anniversary marked not by celebration, but by the heavy silence of what if, keeps the pain fresh. They are left to wonder what truly happened in the skies that day, and why no definitive evidence has ever surfaced. The disappearance also brought the challenges of aviation safety and search and rescue operations into sharp focus. In the early 1960s, the tools and technology we take for granted today, such as satellite tracking, advanced black box recoveries, and sonar mapping, were non-existent. This case revealed just how vulnerable aircraft could be in remote regions, and how difficult it was to coordinate search efforts over an ocean so vast it seemed to swallow all evidence whole. The mystery of Flight 739 exposed the limitations of mid-20th century aviation protocols, forcing the industry to think more critically about emergency response procedures, international cooperation, and the importance of detailed record-keeping. Today, Flight 739 holds a unique place in the annals of aviation history. It's a tale that continues to intrigue aviation enthusiasts, amateur sleuths, and seasoned historians. Countless books, documentaries, and online forums have explored the case, keeping the story alive for new generations of mystery seekers. With each technological advance, whether in sonar scanning, underwater drones, or artificial intelligence, there is renewed hope that one day, the Pacific's depths might finally yield the answers that have eluded investigators for so long. Until then, Flight 739 remains a haunting reminder of how quickly the skies can turn treacherous. Its legacy lies not only in the lives lost, but in the enduring pursuit of truth and the unyielding hope that the full story of that fateful day will one day come to light. Thank you for joining us on Unfolded Enigmas. If you found this story compelling, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's unsolved mysteries. And as always, if you have theories or ideas, share them with us in the comments. Together, we'll keep exploring the unexplained, one enigma at a time.